another episode of the Media Talks Show series with me, Adebisi and Adetunji. This is where we talk about everything media to inspire, motivate media professionals to think of ways they can amplify their profession, whether as the traditional media or the print media or the digital space. There's so much room for you to grow. It is all about, challenging you to grow beyond where you are now. And so on the Media Talks Show series, I bring people doing different things, amazing things in their own sphere of the media profession. These days we talk about content. Everybody is doing content. Everybody has become a digital content editor. And so media professionals cannot afford to be behind in this game, which is why Ladi Damola, a microbiologist turned graphic designer, videographer, video editor, he has worked with national and international organizations doing amazing things. And so I brought Ladi Damola to take us through the basics of videography so that you can do better with your content creation, whether as a professional or just a digital content creator, to give visibility to your programs, to give visibility to your audience, whether on the digital space or on TV. Again, we have a convergence of all of the channels, all of the formats, the print, the TV, the audiovisual, the audio, and the digital space has brought an emergence of all of these formats. Ladi Damola, welcome to the Media Talks Show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take it away. We'd just like to listen to you right away, talking about the basics of videography.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are listening from. And today we're going to be talking about the basics of videography. And so if you make content videos, whether professionally or you want to go into it professionally or just on your mobile, and you want your videos to still be good and stand out and create good content, you're in the right space. And I'll just go into it very quickly. This is our outline for today. These are the things we're going to be talking about: understanding your workflow, the editing basics, adding elements, color correction and grading, and the exporting. All right. I'm moving to the next slide now. And the first thing is understanding the workflow. And I would say this starting here. So for every video content you want to produce or have a story behind it, have a storyline in your head. No matter how weird the storyline may seem, it may not be conventional, it may not be the regular thing people are used to, but still have it. Because that story is what will guide everything you're going to do when you're creating your content and your videos. And the first thing you do is import footage. All right, you import your footage and you organize. So all the videos you want to work with, let's say at the end of the day, you want to have a minute, 30 seconds video that you will post on your social media platforms, right? Have organize them, import all those footage and organize them. Have maybe a folder for your raw videos, have maybe a folder for your sound effects and your soundtrack, have maybe a folder for your B-rolls. And I'll explain what B-rolls are in the coming slides. So just stay tuned, right? And the idea is so that you can easily locate a footage when you need to maybe go back to it. Right. So it's very important to organize because it also helps you. It doesn't look like everything is all mixed up and jumbled up in that one space. So whether it's CapCut, whether it's your one of the other apps for editing videos on your mobile, or you're going into it professionally, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci, Filmora, whatever app you're using, organize your footage. It's very important to organize. And the next slide is editing basics. And the major things I'll talk about here is cutting and trimming your videos, transitions, and B-rolls. So yes, this is the B-rolls. So when you've imported your footage, remember, like I said, you have a story in mind. You have a timeline you want to work with. It's important to define those two things. When you define them, it helps you stay in the confines of that. If other ideas come up, you can scribble them or write them down somewhere else and work on it separately. Even if it's the same clips you want to use, work on it separately, not in that first timeline. All right, so you cut your videos and you trim them to the exact points you want and you merge them, and that's where transitions come in. So because you do not want your shot to just 1 minute it is showing you and that's cut. There's no transition, nothing guides the first clip to the second clip, and you're just cutting in between clips. It's going to look like, does this person really know what he or she is doing? So transitions helps you, like the word it says, transitions helps you to guide one clip into the other clip. So that when you move across clips, it sort of doesn't just seem like things are popping up in your face, and your transition should sort of match the theme or style of your video. And that's why it's good to have a story. What's the theme or style? Is it action? Is it fast paced? Your transitions can help match up those things. And like I said, if you're using a mobile device and you're using one of those apps, they come with default transitions. CapCut's the most popular app used right now for mobile devices, and it's also on laptops or systems too, right? So has transitions, it comes with a whole lot of transitions. So pick a transition that would go with the style of video you're trying to work on and put them in between, right? So that when people watch the video, it helps flow and it also aids the visuals of the video. Now, B-rolls is the last thing I want to talk about. Now, B-rolls are very important because when you shoot videos, it's going to be boring if you're watching a video and you just see the person talking for the next 2 minutes, nothing else, just the person talking,
Yeah.
right? B-rolls are those extra shots that you take that helps to aid or guide the visuals or the storytelling of the video. For example, I want to do a video of point of view, my way, my day at work, and I start off the videos, hi guys, whatever I will say, and I'm like, oh, this is me getting into work today. Imagine having a shot of me walking into the office. Oh, and maybe in your story, you're like, oh, I got to work today. I had a meeting with my whole team. I had another other couple of virtual meetings. I worked on certain projects. I submitted. I had lunch at this time. I met up with a few friends to work, and we went home together. Now, your B rolls are those shots that you now take of you doing those things. When you're walking into the office, there's a video. When you're having your team meeting, there's a video. When you're talking and having conversations with those people, there's a video. When you're working, you could even, if you can't show your screen, you can actually show a short video of you typing on your keyboard, something that helps that when people watch the video, it sort of helps tell that story better. And those are your B-rolls. It's also called secondary footage. Your main footage is called A-roll. People don't popularly call it that, but yes, your main footage is called A-roll, which is your primary footage, and your B-rolls are your secondary footage. So I'll move to the next slide, and that is adding elements, and it's as important as your b-rolls and the other things when you are editing your videos. And it's important because your elements are the other things that add flair and visual aesthetics to appeal to your audience better. So for example, in this now, probably when the episode started, you saw a lower third pop up on the screen that showed the person's name, the name of the host, showed the name of the show, showed the person that invited, the person's name, maybe what the person does. Those titles just sort of help strike a chord that, oh, okay, this is this person. Oh, this is this person. It helps you to also remember. Another thing is text, captions or subtitles on videos. Everyone adds subtitles or captions or text to their videos these days. And it's very important. In fact, statistics shows that a whole lot of people watch their videos with captions. In fact, some people will even reduce the volume because they are in their workspace and they can't have their boss catch them watching videos at work on social media. So they reduce the volume down and they will start to watch the video and they're reading the captions and you see them laughing or giggling or smiling. And that's because the captions helps them to understand what the video is saying or what the person is saying. Another thing is effects and filter. All right, having effects come up in your video is very important because, um, like I said, in as much as you're adding b-rolls to your video, your effects can also even sometimes serve as b-rolls for your video. You want people to see things that creates a mental image in their mind that helps them describe whatever they're saying. So let's assume this slides were not here, and I was talking about adding elements, right? When I say effects and filter, I could have something pop up at the side of the screen showing effects, and that way you would have a mental image or have an idea of what I'm talking about when I say effects. All right. And the last thing I want to talk about when you're talking about elements is audio. And your audio is as important as your video. There's this popular thing they say, show, don't tell. Your audio helps to enhance your video greatly, and I will explain. It's usually in two ways: your audio sound effects or the background sound. Now, sound effects could be as simple as someone is walking and you're hearing the footsteps of the heels. There's a transition that swipes from one scene to the other, and you hear sound effects. there's a maybe rain is falling, and you can hear the sound of rain. If you see, if you're watching a video and rain is falling, and you're not hearing the sound of rain, it doesn't feel like rain is falling. And that's how much sound effects play a long role to enhancing your video. The second thing is the background sound. Yes, definitely lower than the person speaking when it's such a video, but it helps to strike an emotion rather, or a chord in the person or in the viewer watching the video. And I'll give an example. If you're watching a horror movie, imagine just taking down the volume. Try it. I've tried it before. Reduce the volume of the movie down to zero and watch the horror movie. It won't seem horror, honestly. It won't seem scary anymore. And that's because what they did was they aided our visuals with sound to sort of strike that chord that makes you get scared when you see something pop up suddenly. Same
Yeah.
thing with action movies. Same thing with epic movies. Somebody's running in the forest and they're now playing one epic soundtrack. You said you'd be like, this guy is running. But if you remove that soundtrack behind, that video, it would just look like, okay, he's running, okay, and you'll be expecting something else. So that's how much audio plays a large role in enhancing your videos or your content. All right. Moving on. And the next thing I want to talk about is color correction and grading. Now, some people ask, do you need to color correct and grade your video? What is even color correction? What is grading? Now, color correction is basically, and I'll say yes, it's very important to do so because in as much as your visuals are good, your soundtrack is good, you also want your videos or your movies or whatever you're making to have a specific feel that would also evoke a certain emotion in your audience, right? So color correction is basically correcting colors to how they should be. Now, because we use variety of devices to shoot our videos, right? These devices sort of, and based on whether where we are is light or dark, or there's a particular color of light or something, the color your video will have, and different kinds of screens also, the color your video will have is maybe different from how the eye should perceive it. So one of the things, or one of the major things you do with color correction is you correct your whites. You call it white balance. Once your white is corrected, it sort of automatically adjusts how other colors will look. So color correction is making sure your white is white, your red is red, your blue is blue, your green is green. Your white is not looking blue, your white is not looking orange. That's color correction. Now, color grading, on the other hand, is the feel of the movie. Comedy movies are generally saturated. They look very colorful. They look very bright, right? That's why you can shoot a movie today in 2024, and when you watch the movie, it will look like the movie was done in year 2000. That's graded. So the feel of the movie feels like it is year 2000. Yes, minus all the visuals of the way they create the scene and the background. That feel of the movie also helps you understand that, oh, this movie was shot in the year 2000. Meanwhile, it was 2024. So your grading helps you to give a feel for the movie. You want the movie to look happy. You want people to be excited when they watch the movie. That's why kids' cartoons are colorful, excitement. They have graded it to look colorful because they want the child or the children to be happy when they watch it. So those emotions are the things you want to strike in the hearts of people when they watch your videos. Oh, you want to tell a story of, how you, in quotes, grew from this point to this point, and you use a bit of vintage at the beginning. It lets people feel like, oh, this was old, this was then, and this is now. All right. So that's how important grading is to your video. So the last thing I'll talk about is exporting, which is settings and formats. And I will explain. So once upon a time, when you're shooting your videos, videos were shot landscape. And in those days, when you shoot your horizontal landscape video, if someone else is shooting a portrait vertical video, like, what's wrong with you? Turn the phone, let it be to be landscape. Now you're shooting a video landscape, they're like, no, 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 turn the phone, let it be portrait. And that's how much social media has influenced the media and influenced how things are done, right? So the last thing I would want you to take note of or understand when you are working with your videos is, what social media platform are you pushing that video out to? That's number one. Number two, um, what target audience are you trying to reach out to? Because it's important. Most people are on their devices these days, and that's why a lot of videos are made to be portraits. because majority of people use social media on their mobile devices. Even if it's YouTube, they use YouTube on their mobile devices. Yeah, few people, yes, some people watch on their TVs, on their laptops, but majority of people still watch videos on their mobile devices. That's why almost every app these days, even if it is even YouTube that was built for horizontal landscape videos, has YouTube Shorts, where you could watch vertical videos and watch the same thing. That's because they know everyone watches their phones and they use their devices to watch most of the videos. All right. So your settings when you want to export matters. For example, and settings has to do a lot with your resolution, your frame rate. And I'll explain what resolution means. So resolution is basically the size of your screen. The larger the size of the screen and the larger the resolution, the more pixels your video or content will have. So, for example, the world currently people shoot videos on 8K. They call it 8K. 8K resolution. Let me see if I can quickly check that up. 8K resolution size is roughly 7,680 by 4,320 pixels. So, in reality, if you carry and pixels are like small boxes. If you carry 7,000 by 3,000 pixels, you're going to get an 8K resolution. Now, if I should shoot a video in that high resolution and I'm able to, let's say, compress it and reduce it to a mobile device, the video will look so clear that people would ask, what did you use to shoot this video? Meanwhile, if I shoot that same 8K video and export it in a format of 720, it will look very blurry and it will not look sharp. So your settings and your format when you're shooting also matters, right? I don't know if we should have brought this to the front, but your settings when you
Okay,
want to
so
shoot,
now that setting, can it work?
yeah,
Will it work on our mobile device using our mobile phones? Because these days we all shoot with people shoot with their
yes,
mobile device. So
yes,
does that setting also work for mobile device?
yes. So most phones nowadays can shoot 4K and 1080. Now, the higher the resolution, the larger the video will be. Because the higher the resolution, the more pixels, the more information your camera is taking in when you're shooting that video. So, for example, it's like I want to shoot on 8K, right? Or 4K. Let me use 4K because a lot of devices can take 4K resolution. If I'm shooting on 4K, my camera is basically taking in more data and information in that video than when I shoot 1080. Resolutions have changed. So if I'm shooting 1080 or if I'm shooting HD, as some phones will call it, right? An iPhone will call it HD. That's for 1080 and 4K is 4K. So if I'm shooting 1080 and I'm shooting 4K, the quality will be different for both of them. Same phone, same camera, but the setting I'm using, the 4K takes in more data, more information in. So it has it's going to be clearer, it's going to be sharper, it's going to be better when you see it visually than as opposed to the 1080. 1080 isn't terrible, but and the reason why 1080 doesn't look or feel terrible is because most people use their mobile devices to watch their videos. Right? If you take 1080 to a laptop, it will still look good. But if you now take a 1080 video to like a 60-inch screen, you start to notice that this is not sharp again. No, it's not as sharp as it was on my phone. It's not as sharp as it was on my laptop. But if you take a 4K video to that same 60-inch screen, you'll be like, it's very sharp now. Same video. But because setting of format, right, which is going to be different. So your phones, most people will set to 1080. If you use 4K, your video will be larger. And it's also going to be better. So if you can afford to shoot your videos in 4K, always shoot your videos in 4K. That's my recommendation. I like to shoot my videos in 4K. Also because when I'm editing, just in case I need to touch the video a lot, I won't lose so much quality when I'm going to export my video. Also, so that if I'm going to now take that video across different editing platforms, I also don't want to lose quality. So I'll shoot on the highest resolution that I can shoot on, so that when I import and export, I don't lose so much quality from the videos. All right. So it's very important to take note of that. So even when we're exporting, in as much as everyone watches the videos on their mobile devices, do not export anything less than 1080 pixels, 1080p or HD as iPhone will call it. All right, full HD are some other devices to call it. Do not export less than that. Anything less than that, and your videos won't look sharp. They will look blurry. They will look like it was shot at a really low resolution, even though maybe you shot at a really high resolution. All right, so those are the things you need to take note of. And if you're exporting to, for example, what a lot of people also now do now is they will shoot their videos landscape, maybe for YouTube, for example. And when they're cutting the videos, they will make sure they cut a portrait version of a short clip that they will now post on Instagram, on TikTok, Facebook, or Twitter or X, any other platform they want to post the videos on, so that they are appealing to every audience that they can get to. So if someone goes to YouTube, the person sees landscape, horizontal. The person goes to Instagram, the person sees portraits of the exact same video. So that way, you're not losing out on any audience or any social media platform because of how the video looks. So I think that's basically it at this point. Thank you very much.
Yes. So I quickly have a question. When you're talking
Yes,
about
please.
resolution now, like
Yes.
shooting in the right 4K resolution. So for example, I have my phone here, all right,
Yes.
and I want to do video. So where do I
Mm.
locate my resolution on this phone, right?
Okay. Yes. So basically, different phones may put the settings at different places, but
Yeah.
normally at the top, just directly above where you'd see your screen, end the
Yeah.
video, you should see settings or you drop down. When you click it, you would see some phones will show 1080, some phones will show HD, some phones you see
Yeah.
1080, HD, you see 720, HD, 4K.
Okay, something like this. I saw it here on this side of my phone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
By
when
the,
I
by, yeah,
when I click on it, this,
yes,
yeah, it drops down.
yes,
I'm sure it's because this screen is not. So it drops down and showed me
yes,
2K, 1080. So I can actually click either of these to shoot, my video,
yes,
right? Oh, okay,
yes.
great, great, great.
So for your phone that has 2K now, 2K is better than the 1080. 4K
Okay.
is better than 2K. Not a lot of phones have or show 2K resolution, but if it does, always usually opting for the higher one. Yes, your videos will be larger to consume more space in your phone or your memory, but at the end of the day, it's going to be better. The quality of videos you're going to get will be better. Like I
And
said,
sharper.
1080 isn't bad. Yes, and sharper. 1080 isn't bad, but we're gradually, slowly getting to the point where even for mobile phones are beginning to have 2K resolutions on the screen. Some phones are probably almost going to get 4K very soon. And so you want your videos to always look good everywhere you're posting it. You don't want to create a video and people are watching and like, why is the quality or the resolution low? Why is the quality looking bad?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, quality isn't bad. It's just when you shot it, at the time you shot it, now it's now looking like it's no longer very sharp because the screens and the devices that people are using to watch these videos are now better. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
video doesn't match up to the resolution of your phone or your device or your screen, it will now look like it's horror. Once upon a time, 720 was good, but now
But
because the
now,
devices are watching videos on are
upgrading,
better.
they are upgrading the
Yes,
devices. Yeah.
exactly. So when you watch 720, I'm like, thing is the quality is bad. Meanwhile, the quality wasn't bad then. It was good then. It's just now devices are better. So what you're watching on will now, you need to definitely improve so that it looks better at every device you upload on.
All right. So what I'm getting from what you've said, Ladi, is
Yes,
quality. When you are thinking of
yes,
your video, quality, high resolution as much as
yes,
possible. Think
yes.
of whether you are recording in landscape or horizontal,
Okay.
depending on
Yes,
where you want to post, the
yes.
video. And then think of putting fixing words, text
Mm,
on your videos,
yes.
because people will love to see watch videos that have text. I'm going to take that forward. Sometimes I don't really particularly would like to go with text, because
Yeah,
again, we are learning. We leave it to the
yeah.
experts, so sometimes reading the text can be like a pain, you have to a pain point, digital auto translation, text, audio to audio, visual to audio
Text to
to
speech.
text to speech, speech
to
to
text.
text. Sometimes it's not
Yes.
perfect, and you have to go through it again, to edit and make it right. So, but I think what we're taking away from here is we should think of quality, we should think of improving our resolution, we should invest in our equipment. If you are taking it seriously, you might want to invest in a good phone, all right?
Yes.
You want to invest in a good camera, depending, I mean, again, I don't want to discourage you, because again, when you want to wait for everything to be perfect, you will never grow. I am still learning, so again, do not shortchange yourself and say you are waiting for your videos to be perfect. No, start from somewhere. The more you do it, the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you know how it works. So you must start somewhere. Don't shortchange yourself and say, oh, you want to be like Ladi in one day. So start from somewhere, but improve and grow, as it were, as you move forward with your content. Video has definitely come to stay. Video content.
Yes.
Before we thought it was for people working in TV, people doing cinematography. I mean, video is a sell now. It's a big sell, all over. Commercial, and then it is easier with the digital space. If you agree with me,
it is.
Before you think that you needed a cameraman, you need to pay, you need to light. But with a good phone, and if you choose to use daylight or something, everybody can create video content in the confines of their room or their kitchen. You edit and you upload. All of us have become cameramen, and so it's such a beautiful thing, and I hope someone watching this will, take their brand visibility and personal visibility forward, your work visibility as well. You want to try, to play around with videos, even as a media professional, to give more visibility, to draw in the audience. I want to thank you so much, Ladi, for this.
Thank you.
I so appreciate the time you've spent on the show with me today. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Even when we didn't record. We didn't start recording at the very beginning. You went like some 20 minutes before we realized we're not recording, and you are still here. So I want to thank you so much for your time, and we are hoping to bring you back on a master class where you will show us how to do it, and people will pay for it. They have to pay. If you must, improve on your personal development, to spend money. Don't say you are looking for everything free. I'm talking to anyone watching this video at any point. You must, at some point, after you've learned the basics, you must invest some money to learn the master class, to master the art, especially if you want to take it forward, to make some good money, to make a career and a profession out of it. Thank you so much again, Ladi, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. Catch you on another episode of the Media Talks series show, where we'll be bringing another interesting expert in this industry, whether from the digital space, from the techie service space, or the traditional media, TV, radio, and so on and so forth. So keep developing, keep being intentional about your personal development. And like I always like to say, I am rooting for you. We are going to the top together. If you agree to go along with me. Catch you again next time, and bye-bye for now. It's the moment we found out that we're not recording.
That's why you have to do the introduction again too.
This is crazy. Oh, Father. I'm sorry, Ladi. This is so terrible. I feel so bad.
I don't feel bad. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, God. Okay, so let's do this.
Yes.
Oluwa.